Imagine a world full of security, creativity, power, love, truth, intuition, and awakened spirituality. Helping to create lifestyles balanced with these energies is what we do. In order to truly be successful, we need you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your love. Thank you for bringing your light. And always thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your insight. The Balanced Chakra Light Workers welcome you to a balanced world evolution. Greetings, love lights, and welcome to Chakra Light Radio. This is Juanine here, and I am your host. I'm so glad that you are here. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day for some wonderful insight on our root chakra. That's right. We're talking about the root chakra today. The color that's associated with this chakra is red, and this energy center is located right at the base of your spine, right near your coccyx. And it has to do with our stability in life, your building great foundations before you do something. This could be in your finances and any type of relationship. There always needs to be a great foundation set. This can be with your body, making sure you have a great foundation for whatever your goals are. And a lot of times when we go after something in life, whether that's for ourselves, for our children, for our family, and we feel like it's a failure. First off, failure is just a perception. But that comes from us not having a deep enough root in what it is that we're trying to do, building a foundation, having goals, having a vision for something greater. And today, we are going to balance our lifestyle with some insight on relationships. Isn't that a juicy topic? We're always loving to talk about relationships because we deal with it every day. And anytime you go out and you're around someone, we're dealing with relationships and communication. Today, we have a super guest on our show. His name is Mr. Eddie Rogers II. He's an author, and his book is Relationships Start With Relate. What? That is so dope. Hi, Mr. Rogers. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I am positive. I am full of so much energy. I could just go for 4 cartwheels right now. And I am in love with life.
That's good. That's a good thing to be in love with.
It is. I'm telling you. I met Mr. Rogers. You guys might have heard the podcast when I was on my way to the Black Women's Expo. I met Mr. Rogers at the Black Women's Expo, and he had his book that with him, and I had to stop. First off, because his demeanor, his energy just spoke more than words could speak, and his beautiful wife was there. Man, this couple, they're just a power couple. They just are so awesome, and I just had to have him on the show so he can share some of his awesome insight. So you have a book out that's called Relationship Starts With Relate. Is that correct?
That's right. And the subtitle of that is Ending Suffering in Relationships.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's just dig right in. So what is the suffering that you know about in relationships?
Well, I know about my own personal suffering. I think it's suffering that a lot of people have in common. Now that you asked me that, I automatically divided it into 3 segments. So I'm pretty sure that all of us have some kind of suffering that we can speak to in our past relationships or in our attempts to establish past relationships. People may or may not have suffering that they're experiencing now, and my goal is to prevent suffering in the future. No mean suffering or something minor. I believe that relationship problems, just like many other problems in life, 90% of them, and that's just a number I'm making up, are preventable. So what suffering do I know about? Like I said, I know about my own, and I think we all have some of the same basic things in common, but in basic things, speaking of root chakras, if we can tackle the root of suffering, then future suffering doesn't have a chance to sprout.
So what would you say is the root of suffering?
Well, the root of suffering as it pertains to relationships, I think is, there's a common phrase that many people have heard is lack of understanding. I think it's a biblical phrase that people perish for lack of understanding. There's other people who have adopted it, community leaders, for lack of knowledge. So I think it's a lack of knowledge or a lack of awareness of what a person is getting themselves involved with. When you're going into a relationship with someone else, you have to be aware of your own, to be aware of the person so that you have a great chance of success, or at least chance.
Uh-oh, Mr. Rogers, are you there? Mr. Okay, I think we lost you for just one moment. So you were talking about a greater chance of success.
Yeah, I was flowing. I hope you didn't lose me. I was saying that, speaking of root chakras, that if you attack the root of suffering, which I was saying or describing as a lack of awareness of oneself or the person you're about to get involved with, then future suffering doesn't have a chance to sprout.
Right. Wow. Okay, so this is dope because awareness is really, really important for us to tackle, our goals for ourselves and our partner and relationships. So as from what I know, and you can tell me if you agree with this, the awareness really needs to begin with self. Do you agree with that?
I definitely agree. A couple of the examples I've been using recently, and just by the way, if there's any issue with the sound quality or with the availability of my voice, let me know. Because I'm on a cell phone and I'll move to another area, but I think where I'm at's pretty good. Okay. So I've been using a few examples, and what I've been saying is that when you go to a restaurant and order food, you know automatically what you can and cannot eat. You know what your body will tolerate. You know what your taste buds will tolerate. You know what your allergies and all those type of things will tolerate. And so from jump, you can automatically eliminate a great portion of the menu because you know what you're in the mood for. And like I said, what your body can physically tolerate. And so what that has to do with relationships is, in this example, you're aware of your diet. You're aware of your health conditions. You're aware of all those things. So therefore, you prevent suffering by not ordering something that's going to make you sick, that's going to make you regret what you did. So even in ordering food, and when you hear me talk, I often use just common everyday examples because I want people to understand that relationships are not some... Even though there's some aspects of magic and, wonder to them, they're not some magical out-of-reach ingredients that we just have to hope we get lucky and succeed at. So even in an eating situation, even in going to order food, you have an awareness. Therefore, you attack the potential for suffering at the root. So it's not likely that you're going to suffer unless there's just some extreme kind of bad luck or some kind of mishap. And those are temporary situations. So in a relationship, of course, you should be aware of your own self because that way you know the potential for suffering in a relationship, just like in a restaurant.
That is a great example of having a menu, to select our own awareness, our personal awareness for what we desire for ourselves and the experiences that we want to have in life. What are the first steps to really finding out, what it is that we desire? Because I know for a long time, I just was caught in a loop. When I was younger, I knew what I wanted in life. But as I got older, as I grew in age, I much prefer to say it that way. As I grew in age, and I was trying to be accepted, I found myself looping around what everyone else was doing. And it came a point in my life where I went through this bad depression before my awakening. And I didn't know what it was that I wanted in life. I didn't know what I was good at. I didn't really know what I liked, so for anyone that's out there at that phase in life, how do you suggest that they discover what type of menu they like?
Have fun. You have to get busy. The 3 words that I use, no matter who I'm talking to, no matter how they take it, is get a life. And I'll always follow that up to soften it for whoever needs it. But I'm not saying it to be sarcastic. But when people are going into college from high school and they're starting to consider what their major is going to be, if you've ever seen one of those books or list of majors, it's in the hundreds, maybe thousands. I don't even want to guess. There's so many majors. I didn't know golf course management was a major. There's so many different things. So, we look at the obvious core classes. Am I going to major in math, English, psychology, or am I going to try to become a doctor or something? But those are just very obvious what do you call it? Not the sources, but choices that are, or suggestions that are given to people. But so transferring that over, and what do you like in this world? There's so the professions that are out there. Think of the professions that are created, and tagging relationships into this. When people pout or they feel like they're suffering because they haven't found the one they belong with, think of how many people are on this planet, So if you're looking for one person out of all the people on this planet, you may go through a few false starts before you find that person. So in life, you have to get out there and experience things. People will criticize others for saying, well, you have your hands in too many things, or you're trying to be a jack of all trades. Well, you know what? You have to get involved in life. I just watched a movie the other day. I can't remember what it was, but a quote was where the main character said, haven't you ever done anything just for the sake of saying that you had the experience? And that character was sticking up for himself and saying, yes, I've worked here, and yes, I've worked there, and yes, I was the bat boy for this famous baseball player, and yes, but it's a part of just getting out there and exploring, no different than a buffet. How do I know what I really want to concentrate on this buffet? Well, I fill up my plate with a few things that look interesting. I go sit down at the table, I sample, see what I want, and then I come back and I go hardcore on the things that were the most satisfying. That's how you live. That's how you get into that, just because something's popular doesn't mean that it should be. And so people tend to do what other people are doing at certain stages in life because it looks like it's working for everybody else. But just because they're doing it doesn't mean it's working. They even may be good at it, but it doesn't mean that that's what they want to do or what they need to be doing with their life. So the short answer to that is get out there and live, have fun, and see what sticks,
That is such great advice, because that's when my whole life started to change, is when I got a life. Seriously. I mean, it's so straight to the point. It's in your face, but that's the type of real talk that we need, because truly that is medicine. To get a life, find a hobby, go, discover what you like. And that's what I really needed someone to tell me that a long time ago. But I did get it.
That's what we need, socially, because we spend too much time trying to comfort each other, trying to rationalize and justify things, when the bottom line, like my friend Patsy would say, is get some business, find something to do, get a life.
Right. Okay. So now really digging into the relationships, because I really like to make sure we're focusing on self first, because just from personal experience, I can only share the things that I know about. So from my experience, in the past, I would put so much off on my partners. I put it as their responsibility to make me happy. And so it came about me learning how to make myself happy first to understand how it really works, So after we discover our menu for ourselves, how do we begin to discover what we like in a man or a woman for a husband or a partner or a wife or whatever it is that we're looking for?
Well, I think it's as simple as what we said a moment ago. So, for example, if I don't like to eat dinosaur meat, for example, I just know that that's not my thing, it's going to make me sick, or even if it doesn't make me sick, I just don't like the taste. Well, automatically I know if I'm going out to eat, I'm not looking for dinosaur meat, so those things can just go ahead and walk off of my menu. So once you're aware of what works best for you socially, or what makes you happy, if you're not a thief and you detest thieves and it's not something that you want anywhere near you, well, as you're getting to know people, if you find out that someone has thief-like tendencies. They all type of people you're not going to want to be around. Now, that's a very